So in 1992, not only was there no app for telephone, as the least used app on our phones is, in Berlin, 1992, there weren't really any phones. Uh, so I studied a lot of German in college and wanted desperately to go to Germany. And so through a friend of a friend, I organized someone to pick me up at the airport, and I got to East Berlin, where I then started looking for a job teaching English, where I discovered I had the most motivated students in the history of humanity, which were East Berliners wanting to learn English, particularly between the ages of 25 and 55, so that they could either get or keep the white-collar job that they had or wanted. But calling home was really hard because there were no telephones. So my landlord, Andreas, was a really nice guy, and I spent a lot of time in his living room drinking coffee and talking philosophy, religion, politics, and all kinds of things. He was a screenwriter for the TV and a poet, and previously had been shoveling coal in the basement of a large building because refusing to declare that there was no God, he couldn't get a better job during the GDR, under the communism. So he explained to me that, well, in the Soviet Union, in Russia, everyone has a telephone, and that's because Stalin liked calling up random people. So it's like, Comrade Ivanov, how are you doing? This is Stalin. And, listen to this poor man shit his pants. But in the GDR, in East Germany, it was the other way around. You had to be very special to get a telephone. So you were a doctor or a party member, or you needed a reason. Ordinary comrades did not get telephones in East Germany. So one thing about Germans that has really always been true is they are very well organized. And in 1992, 93, there were still bullet holes in a lot of the buildings in Eastern Berlin. It was really pretty drab. No balconies on these old tenements. But the sidewalks were not concrete like we have here. They were either brick or stone or something that you could easily take up. And that's because they've already planned long ago that you're going to need to put utilities under your sidewalk. So there'd be piles of bricks along the sidewalks, and they were laying telephone cable. So the first thing the Germans decided was, okay, getting a telephone in everyone's house is going to be really hard, so we're going to put up payphones. I'm sure all the old people remember what those are like. And we got this newfangled thing called a phone card, so you don't need to put your Deutschmarks in. You can, go buy a phone card and put that in and talk to the whole world. So after about 3 or 4 months near where I was living, there were some phone booths then appeared, sprouting like daisies along the sidewalk. Really, almost every block, a lot of phone booths. And since no one else had a telephone, though, particularly in the evening, there would be a line to use the phone. So someone's in there talking to whoever, friend or loved one, or maybe an employer or whatnot, and there's a line of people waiting, always not very patiently. I'm talking to my mom. I'm 23 and I haven't talked to her in a long time. Like once a month I'd call, and so I'd want to have a conversation, 20, 30 minutes, and get knocked on the door. It's like, it's been a long time. Viele Zeit. Nicht. I'd get these very terse sorts of glares, but not all the time, because it's a social space. So sometimes, particularly when you're not making too long of a phone call, you can kind of meet people. And there was one time where, and now remember, I'm a lot younger, like 30 years younger. Also, I had no bathroom. I had a toilet in my apartment, but no bath or shower. So I had to go to Gold's Gym, and I went there every day, work out, take a shower. So I looked a lot better too. And I'm on the phone, and then I come out, and there's this young woman there. It's like, "Are you American?" I'm like, "Yeah." Do you want to have a cup of tea? Okay. So, we had a cup of tea and that was nice. And I met a couple other people that way. I actually became more friends with at the waiting in line at the phone booth. And so in kind of thinking about that, that is a time that's long gone. And on the one hand, I really love my iPhone. And I, pick up, talk to people, get things done. I'm in contact. That's really great. But on the other hand, like Amos was saying, that one-to-one, meet space sort of contact with people, there really is no app for that. Thanks.